Hey, 8th grade. So our learning target for today is I can solve for y. You should be on page 28 for our work today. So what does solve for y mean? What it really means is that when you solve for y, you're rewriting the equation as y equals mx plus b. That's what we're looking for today to get that slope-intercept form. Solving for y hand method will be happening in all of our work today. So you're pretty familiar with the hand method. It's just that the work that we're going to do today is going to look a little bit different. You have the skills to do everything we're going to do today. So let's start with this first problem, solving for y. We want it to look like this when we're done. So hand method would say we're going to solve for y. We're going to take our hand, cover our y. Anything by our hand has got to go. So to get rid of that plus 5, we should subtract 5. So we're going to go ahead and subtract 5, and then we're going to copy paste. Now when we paste this, we want to paste it off to the side because these are unlike terms. 9x and 5 are unlike terms. Then I have, if I haven't used it, I drag it down. So we get y equals, if I haven't used it, drag it down 9x minus 5. So there we have that y equals mx plus b. You can stop, chop that because you know we do that in my class. We have y equals 9x plus negative 5, and we are done. So the highlighted yellow answer is showing y equals mx plus b, and we are done. So that's the hand method. All right, let's go to the next problem. Solving for y. We're going to solve for that variable y. We're going to go ahead and stop, chop this so we're ready to roll. Hand method says leave the y alone. Anything by my hand has to go. Closest sign wins. The closest sign to that 9 is negative. So we're going to go ahead and add 9x, copy, paste. Copy, paste. Paste on the right. If I haven't used it, I drag it down. On the left, we have negative 9x plus 9x is 0. And on the right-hand side, we have 12 plus 9x. So we have y equals mx plus b. Now, it might not look like that, but because of the commutative property, we could flip these two things around, which is y equals 9x plus 12. Now, for sure, we have y equals mx plus b. All right. Next problem, solving for y. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight the y. That's a stop sign. Anything by the y has to leave. The thing that's by my y right now is 4 through the operation of multiplication. So to get rid of it, we're going to divide by 4, copy, paste. So we're going to paste, paste. We paste on that right-hand side. We can paste 2 times. Break it up. So we're left with a 1y or y here. We have the fraction 5/4 x. Notice how I kind of separated those two things, pulled them apart. I can do that legally in math. Plus 8 divided by 4, and that second fraction is 2. We have a 2 there. So there's our y equals mx plus b, and we are done solving for y. All right, guys, moving on to this next problem. Let's go, 8th grade. Stay with me now. You have the skills to do all of these. Just go nice and slow, hand method. So we stop, chop, bus said no. Solving for the variable y. Got to get the y all alone. So I'm going to actually cover all of that term right now, the term 6y. My job is to get rid of the plus negative 4. Closest sign wins. The closest sign to that 4 is a negative. So that's the sign I look at. So I'm going to add 4, copy, paste. So I'm kind of ignoring this sign because the negative is actually closer. And then we go copy, paste. Now when I paste, these are unlike terms, so I should be pasting off to the side. If I haven't used it, I drag it down. We have a 6y. Those turn to 0. If I haven't used it, drag it down. If I haven't used it, drag it down. We end up with 6y equals 6x plus 4. Solving for the variable y. Division kicks in. We divide by 6. Copy, paste, paste, paste. Cleaning this up then. We end up with y equals 1x plus 4/6. Now we always want to go lowest terms if we can. So we have y equals mx plus b. But lowest terms on that 4/6, I'm going to divide the top by 2 and the bottom by 2. Back to elementary math there. So we get y equals 1x plus 2/3. Y equals mx plus 2/3. All right, next box here. This one has a whole bunch of stuff going on. If I look at the left-hand side of the equation, I'll highlight that in yellow. Those are unlike terms, nothing to do on the left-hand side. So I'm going to look at the right-hand side of the equation and see if there's anything I can combine. Well, these two are numbers, so I can combine those. But the 2y is kind of off on its own. So working left to right here, if I haven't used it, drag it down. Nothing I can do on the left side, unlike terms. On the right-hand side, 23 plus 6 is 29. If I haven't used it, drag it down. So that's our step 1 there. Combining like terms on the right-hand side gives us 23 plus 26. Everything else is if I haven't used it, drag it down. Now this is called a multi-step variable equation. We have a variable y on both sides of the equation. So let's take a look at those. I'll highlight those in green. We have 4y on the left, 2y on the right. My job is to get rid of the smallest variable term. The smallest variable term right now is 2y. To get rid of it, I do opposite. So I'm going to subtract 2y, copy, paste. Working left to right then, we have 2y plus 4 equals 29. If I haven't used it, drag it down. Cleaning this problem up, solving for hand method. Take my hand, cover the variable and anything attached. We're going to solve for this. My job then would be to get rid of that 4. I subtract 4, copy, paste. Kind of weird because we lost that other term there. So we have 2y equals 25. 2y equals 25. Notice we kind of lost that b term there. So we have divide by 2, copy, paste. Actually, we lost the m, the slope. And we end up with y equals 12.5 or 12.5. That still is y equals mx plus b. What happened here is we really have a y equals, it must have been a 0x plus, and there's my b, 12.5. I'll put it as a decimal now. Notice what happened here if I highlight. I lost that 0, or that I lost that x because there must have been a slope of 0, a flat horizontal line, no change to the slope. So that's why that happened. But it is still y equals mx plus b. All right, 8th grade, let's go. Next problem. I'm going to slide this over just because I don't have enough room over there. I'll say no. We stop, chop, chop, and say I got to get rid of that subtraction, recognizing that this really is a negative 1y. Go ahead and recognize that negative 1y. Hand method kicks in. I take my hand, cover the variable, and anything attached. My job is to get rid of this 1x. I get rid of it by adding 1x, copy, paste. When I paste off to the side because those are unlike terms. If I haven't, ooh, I made a mistake there, guys. Let's go back. Did you see my mistake? See, even fabulous Ms. Volkman makes mistakes. I need to get rid of this 1x. I should be subtracting 1x right here, not adding. Make sure you check that out. That should have been a subtract 1x. My fault. Working left to right here, we said 0. If I haven't used it, drag it down. I get negative 1y equals 3 minus 1x. 3 minus 1x. I'm kind of out of room there. I said no. We stop, chop, chop over here. My job is to get the variable y totally alone. And right now it's married to a negative 1, so we're going to divide by negative 1, copy, paste. We're going to paste, paste. Working left to right then, we have y equals, we have a triangle problem right here, which is negative 3 plus 1x. Commutative property says we're going to flip those, so we get y equals 1x plus negative 3, mx plus b. There it is. If I'm going too fast, go ahead and pause that video. Otherwise, let's keep on plugging away here. We're looking for y equals mx plus b, solving for y. Good news on this next problem is that the y is already alone. That's great news. So hand method is already locked in. Problem, though, is we have this parenthesis that we have to kill. We got to kill the parenthesis. We have a lonely variable there. To kill the parenthesis, we have to use the distributive property. We have to send it in 2 times. We're going to take that 5, multiply it in, and reattach the variable x. That becomes 5x. Sign in the middle is plus. Then take that 5 and distribute. 5 times 8 is 40. If I haven't used it, I drag it down. So we end up with y equals mx plus b. Y equals 5. X plus 40. All right, guys, hang in there. I know the video is getting kind of long. We're at 8 minutes right now. Let's keep doing that. It looks like we have about 5 more to go. I say no. We have a lonely variable here. Or pardon me, we have a stop, chop, chop there. I have a lonely variable on the inside. On the left-hand side, there is absolutely nothing I can do over here because those are unlike terms, so I'm just going to wait that out. On the right-hand side, though, I got to kill that parenthesis. I'm going to distribute, which is 9, reattach the variable x. Sign in the middle is plus. Distribute again. 9 times 2 is 18. That kills that parenthesis on the right-hand side. If I haven't used it, I drag it down on the left. Hand method kicks in. I'm solving for the variable y. Whoops. Not really sure what happened there, but I'm solving for the variable y. To get rid of that, I'm going to add 4. Closest sign wins. Closest sign to the 4 is negative. Copy, paste. If I haven't used it, I drag it down. If I haven't used it, I drag it down. So we get y equals m. X plus b. Y equals 9. X plus 22. All right, how we doing, 8th grade? Let's hang in there. Stay with me now. Here we go. Next problem. As I look at the next problem, I said, no, we will not subtract in Ms. Volkman's class. We have a lonely variable. And I said, no. I got to kill that parenthesis on the right-hand side, nothing to do on the left-hand side. That left-hand side, these are unlike terms. There isn't a thing I can do. However, on the right-hand side, I'm going to kill parenthesis using distributive property. Distribute. 1/2 times 1 is 1/2. Reattach the variable x plus distribute 1/2 times -2. If you need your calculator, go ahead and pick it up. We have 1/2 multiplied by -2 is -1. On the left-hand side, if I haven't used it, I drag it down. Hand method kicks in, so we take my hand, cover the variable y. Whoops. Not really sure why my pen is doing that. Sorry about that. Still not taking the highlighter when I want it. The variable is y, so I'm going to get rid of that -10. Closest sign wins. So we look at the negative by that 10. Add 10, copy, paste. We then have, if I haven't used it, drag it down, y equals 1/2 x plus 9. Y equals 1/2 x plus 9. Okay, crew, hanging in there. Moving on to the next problem. Next problem, we have area of a triangle. We're going to solve for b. This is not going to be a y equals mx plus b problem. Matter of fact, it doesn't even have a y in it or an m. But this time I'm going to solve for b, still using hand method. So solve for b. Go ahead and get myself ready. I take my hand, cover everything in the numerator. I would like you to kill the denominator first. Kill that denominator first. We're going to multiply by 2, nice and high, copy, paste. Working left to right, then we have 2a equals bh. 2a equals bh. Step 1, kill that denominator. Now we're solving for the variable b, so my job is to get rid of the h. The operation I should be using is division. Divide by h, copy, paste. So we have b on the right equals 2a divided by h. Check that out. Is b all alone? Yes, we were asked to solve for b in the directions. I solved for b. I have b alone. My answer is b is equal to 2a divided by h. We are done with that problem. Okay, next problem, we're going to solve for the variable L. Hand method's going to kick in here. So this particular problem, if I were to cover all of this with my hand, I would have to get rid of the add 2w. To get rid of that, I subtract 2w, copy, paste. We're going to write it way off to the left because those are unlike terms. If I haven't used it, I drag it down. If I haven't used it, I drag it down. And I have a 2L here. Zeros. Solving again for the variable L. Now I know that L kind of looks funny the way I'm writing it. Math teachers write it that way because otherwise our L's look like ones, and that is confusing in a class like math. My job is to get rid of this 2 because it's married to the L. The L has to be totally home alone. The operation there is multiplication, so I'm going to divide by 2, copy, paste. When I paste, I'm going to paste, paste. Working left to right. Triangle problem right here. That gives me -1. Reattach the W plus. I'm going to put a 1 in front of here because there's a lonely variable p there, and I'm going to pull that fraction out. It becomes 1/2 p. You don't have to write it that way if you don't want. And on the right-hand side, we have L. Is L alone? Yes, we are done. -1w plus 1/2 p equals L. You don't have to have it written exactly the same way as I do. You could have p over 2. I just like to have that fraction out front. It just feels better to me. All right, come on, 8th grade. We're at the 13-minute mark. Let's see if we can do this in 1 minute. Variable is r that we're solving for. This is a little fussy because you have a power of 2 attached to it. So you should be thinking, how am I ever going to get rid of that power 2? You should be thinking square root. We're going to need a square root at some point, but we first need to kill the denominator. I multiply nice and high by 3, copy, paste. Working left to right, we have 3a equals, those denominators just got killed, giving me a pi, r squared times h on the right-hand side. Now, my job is to solve for the variable r. It's married to that r squared, but we'll clean it up here. We have a 3.14 times h. Now, we don't know what those are because they're just variables. Here's a cool little trick, though. We can divide them at the same time. So we're going to pull them both down through division at the same exact time, and we're going to paste it over on the other side. So we can pull at the same time, divide, copy, paste at the same time. Super fast trick. On the left-hand side, nothing can cancel over there. They're all very different. So we're kind of stuck with all that yucky crap on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, that turns to a 1. That turns to 1, leaving me with an r squared. My job is to get the r variable totally alone. It is not alone. There's a power of 2 stuck on it. To get rid of this power of 2, I take square root, copy, paste. So I have the square root of 3a over pi h equals, those cancel, the variable is r. So my answer is r equals the square root of 3a divided by pi h. I think I finished in less than 1 minute there. Last part for today is to fill out our summaries. For our summaries, things that I would like you to recognize is we need to first kill the denominator, if there is one. Make sure you're killing denominators if there is one. Do not forget to copy paste. And it's hand method all the way. You have the skills to do this. This probably should be a pretty good lesson for you if you just go nice and slow. Everything nice and slow. You need to get through page 29, 30. I believe just 29 and 30. Yep, 29, 30 is homework for tonight. Have a great night, 8th grade.